5 times LeBron James mocked NBA players. Before I get into the video, yes, my voice has still not healed. It's hard to get it healed when I play sport and I just yell all the time. So I was sick and then I've just been yelling and my voice hasn't healed. So I sound a little bit croaky like a robot, but I hope you guys enjoy the video and hopefully it's not too distracting. Anyway, let's get into it. At the end of the day, I like a bit of trash talk. I like when players fight a little bit, have a little bit of beef, mock each other. It's just the competitive nature that makes it exciting. It makes it fun to watch. I believe that players like MJ, Bird, Ron Artest, they're fun to watch simply because of their competitive nature on the floor. I believe that the rule is you can do and say whatever you want on the court, but you have to be sure that you can back it up. And that's what Bird did, MJ did, Kobe did, and LeBron does it now. Even though we don't see LeBron talk as much trash than probably MJ, Bird, and Kobe. But this video isn't necessarily the trash talk that LeBron James has on the court. Instead, this is times that LeBron James has mocked NBA players, teams, and mocked the NBA landscape in general. You don't hear as many stories of the King like we do with other legends, but that will probably change as he enters the ending of his career and players start to come out with their stories of how LeBron James did something to them and how LeBron James did something to one of their teammates. It seems to happen every single season when new stories come out, and it's just one of those things that once a player retires, there's more stories that tend to be released. But as of what we know now, these are the times LeBron James has mocked other NBA players and teams. And some will look at the footage and listen to the stories in this video and you may not see it as anything. Others will see it as part of the game. Others will see it as corny. Let me know what you think and let me know if you think I missed any down below in the comment section. If you enjoy these types of videos, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. And if you're new around here and you enjoy NBA content and you want weekly NBA videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an upload. With that said, let's get into it. At number 5, Joakim Noah. In a game against the Chicago Bulls in 2009, LeBron James danced all over the Bulls, literally. He ended up with a stat line of 23 points, added 11 assists, and got the win 101-87. But it was his dancing along with his teammates who, if you notice, this is Danny Green, who is back with LeBron in LA. Anyway, whilst LeBron James and the Cavaliers were busting out moves in the second half of that game, it was annoying for not only Bulls fans but Joakim Noah and the Bulls players, as the Cleveland Cavaliers were blowing them out, and after Jamario Moon's alley-oop dunk that put the Cavs ahead 84-65 in the fourth quarter, LeBron, who was on the bench resting at the time, bounced out of his chair and hopped onto the floor, and he started dancing. He continued to dance and rock out during the timeout and dancing along with Danny Green to Jump Around. Now, Jump Around is a pretty catchy song, but when you're blowing a team out, to me personally, I don't really care. I believe if you're winning and you're having a good time, then jump around however you want. But I guess if you're the other team and you are Joakim Noah, you may have something against it. So a few minutes later, when LeBron James was back in the game, he did another shoulder shake after being fouled and went to the line. The Bulls center at the time, and obviously LeBron hater, Joakim Noah, yelled something towards him from the Chicago bench. And according to this article by Bleacher Report, Noah yelled at LeBron from the sidelines, allegedly calling the reigning MVP corny. Number 4, Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. During the 2011 NBA Finals, Dirk had been suffering from flu-like symptoms since Game 4 of the NBA Finals, but he still managed to perform at a high level. Because of this, LeBron, Wade, and the Heat started to assume that maybe Dirk wasn't as sick as he was making it out to be, which is why the Heat's dynamic duo mocked Dirk by coughing and jokingly discussing how they were getting sick.
LeBron James, Dwayne Wade seemingly having a little fun at Dirk's expense.
Oh, did y'all hear me cough? I think I'm sick.
Now, the media got a hold of this footage and it was released. Obviously, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade mocking Dirk created some controversy. Plus the fact that they lost the 2011 NBA Finals, it didn't look good for them. And as a Heat fan, I'm just like, you shouldn't have done that. But at the end of the day, you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. But he probably shouldn't have mocked Dirk, considering that they lost in the NBA Finals and it completely backfired. But like I said, when the media got a hold of this footage, a firestorm of criticism came. A video was released by a few media outlets of the LeBron James and Dwayne Wade poking fun at Dirk Nowitzki and mocking him, and at first people just blew it under the rug. But when they ended up losing the game and the eventual series, this mocking became something that not only Dirk and the Dallas Mavericks took offense to, but also the NBA landscape, who at the time hated the Big Three in Miami. And the video was recorded and taped before Game 5, and not after, with the Heat losing the game, so that also made it even worse. Like I said, the NBA world at the time hated the Big Three, but especially LeBron James, as he was the most hated player in the league after his decision. And LeBron James had all the negative press that a player could have at that point in time, and he just made it worse. At the end of the day, there is no excuse here. LeBron James lost the game that night. Dirk had something to say about it.
I just thought it was a little childish, a little ignorant. I've been in this league for 13 years. I never faked an injury or an illness before. But that's just, it happened. It's over to me. It's not going to add anything extra to me. This is the NBA Finals. If you need an extra motivation, you have a problem.
And this is one of those stories where LeBron James was no doubt mocking Dirk, but it completely backfired, as he didn't have an amazing finals and the Heat lost the series in the end. Number 3, the Portland Trail Blazers. For this story, we have to go back to the 2007 NBA draft. Greg Oden had just been selected with the number 1 pick, and 13 years later, we know him as one of the biggest busts in NBA history, a future member of LeBron James and the Miami Heat. But at the time of getting drafted, the Blazers thought they had their big man for the future. And honestly, if you look at Oden, Brandon Roy, and LaMarcus Aldridge, you would assume that this big three would turn into something in the league. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but had it have worked out, the NBA landscape and its history could have been rewritten. Plus, Greg Oden ended up being a bust. We all know that. But it wasn't because of his play, and it wasn't because of how talented he was, it was simply because of his continuous injuries, and not his talent. But we all know that they did pass up on Kevin Durant, and with that said, that is always going to hurt. Now we fast forward to 2018, where the Cleveland Cavaliers had just lost Game 3 of the NBA Finals to the Golden State Warriors. KD had just dropped 43 points to lead the Warriors to another win. It was LeBron James facing off against a Warriors team that was basically unbeatable. And after the game, LeBron James praised KD for his performance. But with that said, he had some mocking to do, and he mocked the Portland Trail Blazers while at it.
You first faced Kevin on this stage back in 2012. I think he was 23 at the time. You guys beat him 4-1. But I was wondering, did you leave that series at all really thinking like, that guy is going to be a roadblock down the line, really on this stage a lot?
Yeah. I thought it would be in OKC. I thought we would have to face him for a while. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't see that? I mean, it's Kevin Durant at 23. I mean, it's Kevin Durant at 18. It's Kevin Durant at 20, 21, 22. There's nothing that Kevin Durant had to show me at 23 that would make me be like, oh, years from now that he would. Nah, Kevin Durant was great at 23. Obviously, as you get older and older, your game gets more and more seasoned. But, I mean, everyone knew that. That's Kevin Durant. So it's not like you would think that he would fizzle out. I mean, you knew he was built for greatness. I mean, from the time that he was drafted. I mean, everybody knew that besides Portland, I guess. Sorry, Portland. Sorry.
I mean, if you're a Portland fan, and if you're part of the Portland team and the management, you just have to sit there and cop it. Because if you pass up on KD, you just have to take that one on the chin. Number 2, Gilbert Arenas. I've talked about this story before on the channel, but that was about a year ago, so let me refresh your memory. If you don't know what happened, this is what happened. In LeBron's first ever playoff series in 2006, the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Washington Wizards in a brutal 6-game series. Obviously 6 games is not as close to 7, but 6 games against the Wizards left some very exciting moments, some buzzer beaters, and it was LeBron James' first ever playoff series, which created some anticipation. Plus, this was before the Agent Zero injuries, and this was Agent Zero in his prime. And to fully comprehend how brutal this series was, the Cavaliers only won both games by 1 point in overtime. And the iconic moment of that series wasn't LeBron James hitting the game winner, but it was actually when LeBron James went up to Gilbert Arenas after he missed his first free throw in overtime.
That wasn't me. I didn't shoot that.
With the Wizards only up by 1 point. Gilbert Arenas confirmed that LeBron James said to him, "If you miss these free throws, you know who's going to make it." In the end, Bron didn't hit the game winner, but he did make the right play at the end of the day. He passed the game winner to Damon Jones, who hadn't played all game. He got off the bench and he hit the game winner. Whilst technically it wasn't LeBron James who mocked Gilbert Arenas, it was LeBron James who pulled Gilbert Arenas off. It was LeBron James who may have got in Gilbert Arenas' head, and it led to other players in the NBA being able to mock Gilbert Arenas, like his good friend Nick Young, who said this.
You want to know something the difference between me and you, though?
I was a star, huh?
No, you was a star.
Yeah.
But you want to know the difference? Like, remember when LeBron did this to you? You ain't never been the same. You know that?
Why you keep saying that?
Because I'm just saying.
The following year, ever
since a nigga touched you on your chest like this,
I was I balled out the next year.
No, you didn't.
That was the MVP year. I was running up the MVP.
Your career's over. Give me your life.
LeBron Hex.
Yeah, all right, man.
He took the Monstars on you.
He was shooting free throws every day. Mentally just done.
And number 1, Chris Bosh. Well, his girlfriend. Let's rewind back to 2008. This is before Chris Bosh and LeBron James were teammates, and there was a little bit of family trash talk going down. LeBron James and Chris Bosh were just rivals. The Cavs were in the East, Toronto was in the East, and both players were drafted in 2003, so there was always a little bit of rivalry there. LeBron James started the game in 2008 against the Raptors awfully. He airballed shots, he missed dunks, and through 3 quarters he was 6 of 19. Which you have to presume in 2008 LeBron would not have known who these 2 women were. But they started talking and heckling him from the crowd. The Raptors were actually doing their part as well. They were holding the lead, and through most of the game they were winning, and going into the 4th quarter they had a pretty decent lead, 70-57. So it made sense that if they were ever going to trash talk LeBron James, this was their moment. And in the moment, LeBron appeared to take it well, and he just laughed it off. But then the 4th quarter happened. LeBron James went off for 24 points in the final period, before pointing at the 2 women and mocking them, saying, "It's your fault, it's your fault." Then after the game, LeBron James mocked them again by saying, and I quote, "They were the reason the Raptors lost tonight, because they ticked me off a little bit." In the grand scheme of things, LeBron James would end up being teammates with Bosh. Bosh would end up marrying Adrienne Williams, which was the girl on the sidelines who mocked LeBron James, and LeBron and Bosh won 2 NBA championships together. So there you go. Those are the 5 times LeBron James mocked NBA players or teams. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button for more NBA content. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe and press the notification button so you don't miss a video. If you want to stay up to date to what I get up to in my personal life, be sure to follow me on Instagram, and I will catch you guys in my next one. I am out. Peace.